Welcome back to Mastermind in Python 3. Last episode we made this quick simple menu, and we called this function that doesn't exist. So now what we're going to do is we are going to start work on the start function. So I'm just going to put it in here. What we're going to want is the a comment, just so that we know what it is. Even though, you know, kind of right here it will say def start, because we are defining start. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to need to pull in a lot of variables. We're going to need game inside correct, and then 1v, 2v, 3v, 4v, key, and test num. And then later here the key because the key has to get set back to nothing, it kind of goes in here, so I guess it is kind of pointless to put this there, but whatever, I'm just gonna leave it. Next we need turns, which will be equal to 0, just that every time you start the game it sets it back to 0. So yeah, again, that one, I guess you could argue that it isn't needed here, but you know, what you're gonna do. And then we've got to set game to 1. Then so that the player knows kind of that they've started the game, what I'm gonna do is a little text that will say you've chosen to start the game. The way I do these, I just kind of go down in a multi-line, right, and then I go up and I've got to get it all the way up to there, and then just Control C, Control V, and then that's the end of the multi-line. So once that's started, we're going to need to create this key that will be the center of the entire game. So to create the key, we're going to do basically a repeat loop for I, which is a new variable, in range 4. So basically we'll repeat it 4 times. We've got to do key, which is our list, dot append, which will add it, and then random dot rand range, which basically calls the rand range thing from the random, which we imported earlier, and then 110. And the reason we've got 110 is because the first number that you put in is inclusive, so that will be one of the options that it could go to, and the last number is just everything, it's just what's lower than it. So that basically means 1 through 9 will be, you know, an option. And then while the game is equal to 1, I know that could easily be a boolean. I just put them as a binary. I should do them as booleans, I know, but you know. Right, if dev mode, which is our dev mode from earlier, is equal to 1, then we should print the key. Before anything else, just print the key. Right, now we can literally just leave the dev mode, and the reason I've done that is so that now when we run the game, invalid syntax. Oh, here it is, yeah. Key equals, there you go, that's the syntax error. Right, so run the game. Go down. You can see if we press C, it is doing that infinitely, because it's in, the reason it's doing it infinitely is because it's in the loop, so it's just gonna keep doing that forever. But once the game is out, the whole game is gonna be in the loop, so it will only run once per game. That's the reason it's gone infinitely. You don't need to really worry about that. I'm just gonna run this again, just to like, kind of reset it to the beginning, because that is annoying me. Alright, so now we can exit out of this if loop. And yeah, what we're gonna need to do is at the beginning of every time the player does input, we're gonna make sure at the beginning inside is equal to 0 and correct is equal to 0. And yeah, this is the code which is gonna kind of ask the player. Yeah, it's gonna ask the player what they think the sequence is. Right. So if I do 1, which is going to be a variable, so we've created a variable 1. This isn't on here, we've created it now. And 1 will be equal to input, and yeah, basically it'll be equal to first, and then we got 2 equals input, which will be second. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of do that just because OCD. 3 is inputs, and third, obviously. There's kind of a pattern here. I think you can see what I'm going to say next. And 4 is equal to the player's input, and fourth. And yeah, then what we're going to need to do is some really annoyingly repetitive, actually no, we need to display to the user what they actually put in here. So to do that, I'm just going to kind of put outputs display, and that is going to be that is going to be print. Wow, I just can't type. Right, print 1, comma, which separates it. So we are printing the variable, and then the comma indicates that we're going to do a second thing, and then we're just going to write end equals, and then 2, apostrophes, and then we're going to repeat that for 2, 3, and for 4. And yeah, basically what that does, this indicates, oh, no, actually on the last, no, yeah, just there, that's fine. It basically just means the next line goes right after this one. So if I go in, if I start the game, you'll see it asks me for my first number. Say 1, 1, 1, 1. Then right here, I'll just say 1, 1, 1 first. That's because it immediately goes back to the beginning of the loop. Don't need to worry about that. That is not a problem because that will be fixed later. Ooh, also what we're going to want to do is add turns. Oh yeah, we're going to add 1 to turns. So yeah, the way you do that is plus equals. It's just easier than writing turns equals turns plus 1. So just do turns plus equals 1. Right. Now the next bit is going to be really annoying and repetitive. It's my least favorite part of this whole code, but it's really important for testing to see if the numbers are correct. And I can't think of any ways to just compact this into like a function that repeats. If anyone thinks of a way to do that, please tell me. I don't know, like post a link to it on GitHub or something. Just yeah, if someone figures out a way to do this in a smaller sort of way, just let me know, thanks. Right, so this is going to be for the 1 to test to see if the first one you inputted is in the key. So basically, if 1, which is if 1, which is our variable, in key, then our variable inside gets added 1, because it's in the key. We know that so 1 gets added to it. If key, which is our list, obviously, if key 0, which is the first item in the list, so it'd be this one, because in Python it counts from 0, so that would be 0, 1, 2, 3. So if key 0 is equal to 1, then what? Okay, hold on. So first, what it's going to do, obviously, is it's going to become correct, and that's going to take away 1, because we don't want it appearing in both categories, so that loses that, and it gets added to here instead. Right, next we're going to do an elif key 1, which is obviously the second one, is equal to 1, which is our input here. Then basically then if 1 is equal to 2, then correct plus equals 1. Sorry, my little brother walked in the room. Where was I? Oh yeah. If 1 is equal to 2, then it's going to do this, which may seem a bit pointless, but later we're going to add in an algorithm which basically prevents, for example, if there's more than one, like here we've got 2 8s, and say you put 1 8, then it wouldn't just, put 2 in the category. So, and yeah, the workaround, unfortunately, when we do that, we need a workaround to get the later ones to actually work. So it tests to see if 1 is equal to 2, and then it does that. And then, right, next we're going to need, this kind of a pattern here. I told you this bit is repetitive. If key 2 is equal to 1, then, no, sorry, getting ahead of myself. Then, if 1 is equal to 3, then correct plus equals 1, and inside minus equals 1. Then elif key 3, which is the last bit for now, until I'm going to end the episode after this bit probably. Elif key 3 equals 1. Then if 1 is equal to 4, correct, plus equals 1, inside minus equals 1. Okay, that is all for this episode. I will see you in the next, the next episode of the series. Today we have started working on the thing which determines if it's correct. Sorry, not determines if it's correct. Just kind of figures out if it's correct and how much of it is correct. And we also, took a start at the user interface. And yeah, I will see you in the next episode.